Hey Raquel, what's up? How things with you? You good? See you on early. Seems like you're very interested to hear what I have to say. All right, let's hold on for about 2 to 5 minutes just to get some more people in and we'll start. But let's open up by me saying what I always say, that I promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. All right? So tonight's video is going to be very intense, but also very brief. I'm going to get straight to the point on this topic because I've heard it too often and I've heard it up to today. So when I heard it today, because I have a list of other topics I need to talk about, so I think I'll do 2 videos tonight. But when I heard the statement made today, I just knew that I had to discuss this as well, because I'll tell you guys why. These are things that actually really hurt us and hurt people. So hurt women. And the reason I'm, as a relationship coach, I do so many videos that involves topics with women, simply because relationships is not a masculine thing. If you go through history, you would see how men have treated women and relationships. So relationships does not make a man ultimately happy. He's not really built to be happiest because of a relationship. You don't see a man from a toddler growing up wondering what suit he's going to wear when he gets married and where he's going to get married and stuff. That's not a thing that a man does. It's something that women do. Women from the early age of 18, 19, 20, they start to look at what dresses they're going to like the most, if it's going to be white, red, black, how they want the proposal to be. I saw a video recently with a woman upset that the guy proposed in a marketplace. And I've seen many women afterwards say that they would also be upset. I don't understand that there must be a particular space and time and day and location, which is where he's supposed to propose. It's almost as if you're not proposing to him directly, but you're telling him how, when, and where you want to be proposed to. And in most cases, that doesn't all go well with men, because men propose in places that matters to them. There are men, however, that are intuitive enough that are going to propose based on what their partner would like most. But those men are not generally the type of men that make women happiest, because they are men who do what they do or thrive in relationship, or survive in relationship, I should say, based on making their partners happy. And that is not what a woman actually really wants from a man. She doesn't want him to make her actually happy. It might sound weird, but just choose men. Just look at men who would say, whatever you want, babe, I'll do whatever you want and stuff, and see how attractive that is. You don't want yes men. So those are men who actually live and say, happy wife, happy life, so I'm going to do whatever. But those aren't the relationships with the best, among the highest level of passion. So, having said that, that topic that I chose tonight, we're single by choice. I heard it today, and I wanted women to get a clearer picture of what actually is happening, why they are saying that, because it's not necessarily a true statement. So let me just start off by saying there are no absolutes, right? But generally, right? So there are no absolutes. Okay, so I don't want somebody to say, well, there are women, I know someone who I am like that. We're not talking about every single woman, but we are talking between 80 and 90% of women. When women say that they are single by choice, it's a masculine term. All right? It's not a feminine term. And that is why you don't hear men say, I'm single by choice. You don't hear men say, I am independent. I'm an independent man. So when it's said by a woman, it's because they are giving off an illusion to what is actually true, giving a masculine perspective or trying to disconnect from their femininity. That's why women say things like that. All right? You would never hear a man say, I'm an independent man, have you? And if you have, how many men have you heard say that? How many men have you heard say, I'm single by choice? You see, in most cases, when a woman and a man ends a relationship, you quicker would see the man would get back into something. And there are women who would have issues with relationships that have ended 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago. And that man has been married 6 months after the relationship ended, and he would have had a marriage and about 2 to 3 children with a new person, and that other person is still not able. In fact, I know someone who was one of the most attractive women I know, and she was engaged and they were building a business, and the man felt that he didn't need her anymore and the relationship ended, and that woman has not been able to give herself to another person. And I'm talking, this is about 15 years now. She is not known to be in a relationship with anybody else, and they won't even marry. So this person at the time would have been about 28. So now it's almost virtually impossible. No kids, tons of money. And she has not been able, and I'm talking about a very attractive person. The man, on the other hand, have moved on a long time. And that's, so the truth is, when a woman says that I'm single by choice, and I was asked tonight, funny enough, why I chose the image I put. I chose the image I put tonight on 2 reasons. One, it's a fact that the ethnic group of women who make that statement, predominantly are black women. You do your own research with people that you know of other ethnic groups, and you will see how often have you heard them make that statement. All right? 2, it's based on a female's hypergamy. So it's designed to make her feel good. It's something that she must tell herself. Because what is it that she would say? I can't get a man to want me to be in a relationship. So the only thing that she can actually really say is, I'm single by choice. But is it true though? And in most cases, and that's why you would not hear a woman who is in her 50s make that statement. And the reason she wouldn't make that statement is because she knows she's in her 50s. So she knows that it's more difficult. She knows she can't fool anyone by saying you're single by choice, because the question that other people will be asking is, okay, but at 50, who is really going to want to be with you though? So you don't say those things at that age. You say those things when you think that you're relevant on the market still. Also, you don't see women who are highly attractive. I'm talking about 7, 8, let's just say 8, 9, and 10s to be safer. You don't see those type of high value women to men saying they're single by choice. Why? Because they don't get time to be single. They're out of a relationship, another high value man is trying to be with her, and she has to make a decision very quickly. Those women also doesn't carry any excessive baggage from past relationships, because there's always someone else. I mean, Beyonce sang it in a song, you know. I can have another you in a minute. In fact, he'll be here in a minute. So when you see those kind of statements being made, it means that high value women, that's their mindset, and they know that. And high value men know that. However, high value men are the ones that are selecting them. They are giving them choosing signals. So both people are operating at a very high value. So you don't see women of a high caliber, extremely fit and appealing to men, and have something to offer, but I'm single by choice, because they don't be single. Being single by choice is a masculine thing. So for example, would say I am single by choice because I have a business that I am working on, and I'm working on a project, which is what I'm doing right now with you guys. And it takes a lot out of me to get the information necessary to do the work that I need to do, and to be the leader that I need to be to get my companies where they need to be. And so because relationships are not my number one priority, or most men's priority, that makes them ultimately happy because of where they are in status, I have decided to choose a single route. Can I be married tomorrow? Of course, I can be married tomorrow. I can actually be with someone who wants me to marry them tomorrow. But you don't hear me saying it. You don't hear me saying I'm single by choice, and it's because it's a masculine thing. When a woman says she's single by choice, she is not really single by choice. Two things happen. Let me explain. When a woman says she's single by choice, she's single on the basis of she's still emotionally attached or still carrying some degree of trauma from a past relationship with someone she has been with before. So she has not been able to move on from that last relationship, right? And secondly, is because she is now seeking to be with men. She's not at the value that she thinks she's at, so she's overvaluing herself. And so what happens is, and this happens to a lot of women are actually thinking that they're 7 and 8s and 9s, but they aren't to men. And it's not what you just wake up and tell yourself you are. I am this, and I like this week I posted an image and I said nothing about it because I don't, as much as you may think I don't really support bashing people. I just simply tell it as it is. A lot of people think that me telling you you're talking nonsense, or what you're talking is not true, is me bashing. Yesterday I was making a statement and I responded and I said, okay, when you get married, let's see what happens with your husband. And she messaged me behind and say, why do I have to go personal? I said, I didn't tell you that your teeth is in a mess or your hair don't comb. I said to you, let's wait and see what happens. What is personal about that? So people would tend to think that I am, but I didn't say anything when I posted it. I just simply posted it. And what the post was about was a woman who was saying in a group which is about relationships that she's attractive. And immediately you saw a man, first response is, you are not attractive. And this is how men actually think. Few men are actually able to come out and say it brutally. But it's a female hypergamy. So a lot of women are actually literally walking around thinking that they are 7, 8, 9, and 10s, but you're actually not. And so what tends to happen, because few women actually do introspection and actually understands where they actually are, because a woman's value is not based on what she thinks she is, neither is it based on her accomplishments or her academics. It is your ability to be sexually appealing to a man. It's what we call SMV. So a man who is a CEO of a Fortune 500 company will, with great ease, marry a hooter waitress or a woman who is totally unemployed. That's just how it is. That's because we do not want you for your academics or your accomplishments from an academic standpoint. We don't. It's not what we seek from you. If we get what we want from you and that comes with it, then it's a bonus. But it's not what makes a man value a woman. And that's why so many times in relationships you see people are actually married and then the relationship fades, is because during that marriage that woman tended to focus on academics, and she lost focus on being a woman and a female and a wife to her husband, and he started to pull away. And in him pulling away, she started to feel like he didn't love her anymore, and the relationship broke down, and then she wants a divorce. Notice it was he pulled away, but she wanted the divorce because of female hypergamy again. Men could stay with you for 10 years and not want that divorce, or not say I'm leaving you, but a woman can't thrive or survive in that. Most times, most cases, you'd see she wants out. So when a woman says she's single by choice, she's not really single by choice. But what else would she say? What else would she say? Would she say, I really can't get into a relationship with a man right now because I'm not seeing what I want, and the ones who I want don't really want me, so that's why I'm single? No, but that's what actually happened. Because in most cases, women want to be in a relationship with a man. If a woman has a job that is of poor quality or issues on that job site, but she has a man at home and a family and a home that is full of bliss, then that job is not going to really affect her anymore. In fact, the husband may say, babes, why don't you just stay home? Just stay home. What is true, Shalana? Right? Just stay home. But what happens is that, but if you flip the script conversely and you look at men, right? If a man has a great family but his job sucks, he's never going to be ultimately happy. You see, what women need to understand, and as a relationship coach, why I speak so much about women again is simply because relationships are about women. It's not about men. Men don't wish to actually marry. There you have it. So men don't wish to actually be married. Women wish that. So because men want the woman that they want and that woman wants to be married, then that man wants to be married because he wants the woman that he wants. Not that he wants to be married. And this is why you see almost every woman I know has taken a sabbatical, so to speak, where I no longer just want to have casual sex. Next time I'm going to have sex is when I marry. And those type of language comes out because she realizes that she needs to now have some kind of value towards a man that she wants to be with. And she's getting older. So she also knows that her value from a physical standpoint, her breasts, her weight, butt, facial features and things are changing because she's getting older. She's not as soft and gentle and highly feminine and sexual as she was. So in order to balance off the perception of value to her, she needs to raise her value status as an individual from an inward point of view. And that's it. And so therefore, that's it, Shalana. And so then you understand, because when you say I'm single by choice, you're actually not single by choice. You're single because you're actually single because you have no choice. So the only choice you have, and this is where the choice comes in when women say it, is to remain single because what you want, you can't find. And most people can actually get a person to be a partner in a relationship that's going to be just fine. But because of female hypergamy and women dating up, women always want what they can't have in most cases. What's up, my brother? Long time no speak. Yeah, so women always want what they actually can't have in most cases because of female hypergamy. It is what makes a woman feel that she is some degree of value. But the faster women understand that their value to men has nothing to do with academics, but is purely based on their SMV, sexual market value. And don't get it wrong, it's not fully about age, because there are a lot of high value men out there that don't want a woman under 30 or 35. There are a lot of them out there. In fact, I have told a friend the other day, Angela Bassett is so attractive to me still at 62. I don't know how many men can meet Angela Bassett, go on a date with her, and she make a move on them and they say, I'm not interested. That woman just oozes high value and high SMV at 62. And it's always a requirement. And this is why I said what I said last week as well, that a woman also takes care of her body, even so more than men. Now, don't get me wrong, I have a huge problem with men being out of shape and having big bellies as if they carry with a baby inside. But at the same time, you women do not choose, and I posted images and videos of that this week. Do not choose a man based on age or his fitness. You choose a man based on status predominantly. That's what you choose first, and then personality, and then looks. Now, there are women who would have switched it up a bit. There are some women who would choose based on status and looks, or there are women who would put looks and status at the same point. So women choose two kinds of men. Women choose a man who is either doing some serious stuff as a high value man, or that she sees high potential in where he's going based on his direction, and so she wants to invest and ride that train with him. Those are the two reasons a woman chooses a man and labels him of being a high value. But outside of those two, generally, you don't find women willing to risk. Yesterday, for example, I was having a discussion and someone responded on a comment and said that if she gets a man, she's going to change his diet, and she's going to show him how to get I think it's show him, she said. But the point is, she's going to change his way of thinking from a business standpoint to build an empire together. Let me tell you guys something. You can't do that to a man. And most women go into relationships wanting to change a man. But most men go into a relationship hoping that a woman doesn't change. And so the flip happens. You see? So she goes in trying to change him. He doesn't change, and that affects women. And he goes in hoping that she doesn't change, and she changes, and that affects men. And that's the problem in relationship. Now, change is always good, but because we change and we don't consult each other, it affects the love bank. And so the compromise, which is the most dangerous thing that happens in a relationship, always raises its head. And so you have thousands of books out there now telling you about compromising. And in fact, the truth of the matter is I don't know how many books, in fact, I've never seen a book that says that a relationship should never have compromise in it. And it should never have compromise. If you look at anything outside of a relationship that is compromise, it's not good. So you can try to skew the meaning of compromise from a relationship standpoint all you want. It still has the same meaning in a dictionary. When you compromise something, it means that you're actually going for something that you really don't want. And so compromise is never good in a relationship. In no relationship, a person should compromise. One should sacrifice and give up something for the other because of love, not compromise and come together to a middle ground. Both parties feel like they have been cheated when that happens. So I want to make that very clear, and I hope you all got it. I really hope you all get it, because I'm tired of hearing people say things, women say things, equating it to how men think, thinking they know how men think, and they don't in most cases. Men simply don't think like that. All right? So that's why, again, you would never hear a man say, I am single by choice. But men are actually single in most cases by choice. There are hardly any men out there. In fact, 70% of women will never get married. 25% of those who have been divorced, 15 to 25% of those who have been divorced will remarry. So only about 85% of women actually will die alone. And in the remaining 25% that stay married, 10% of those are the ones who are actually in a relationship that are happy. In other words, there are about 15-20% of people who are still in relationships that don't get divorced, that are not happy, but the relationship or the marriage is sort of a contract and an agreement. So they can't really separate because they stand to lose too much, so they stay in it. And then you will find both parties cheat, they lose, stop having sex, etc. When women don't have relationships, they tend to have a lot of diseases in the reproductive parts, breasts, under the armpits, vaginal, and it really affects a woman's reproductive areas. Simply because her hormones are off balance, because she's not getting oxytocin to be where it's at, and so cortisol steps in, she gains weight faster. Even the women who are in relationships, who are married to yes men, and don't feel like the man that they're with is able to lead them, they are in relationships, in most cases, under heavy stress. And so what happens? They tend to also gain weight while in that relationship, and it's hard to lose because they're under stress, because their hormones are off balance. And it happens to not only based on the husband, but also based on diet And then also based on the fact that women in relationships also put too much on the man in the relationships that they shouldn't. And so what tends to happen is both genders, but especially women, you hear it from, because women are the ones that actually complain more. Women complain 7 times more than men in a relationship, by the way. And so what happens is that you find in a relationship, a woman will find that she is not happy because the man is not doing stuff. And when you check it, it's from a psychological standpoint, it's not necessarily because he's not doing stuff, it's because she's not doing enough to allow herself to be free, to be back on her feminine side. So what tends to happen is that she seeks more from the man than she should be seeking from him. So there are things in a relationship where a woman must be able to go on me time, we time, and you time, which means that she must be able to have time for herself, she must be able to have time for family, and she must be able to have time for everyone else but her. And so women don't know how to switch off from that because they live in all 3 of them at different times, even though their cycle takes them through different hormonal reactions throughout a month or every 28 days. And so this is why it's so important for women to go shopping, or actually even window shopping sometimes. Go and try on a pair of shoes, look at some handbags, go and do a facial, do a manicure, pedicure, relax by a beach, look at the sunset. Those things really matter to a woman, not to men. So whenever you women tell a man, look, that moon is so beautiful, we most times just see a moon. Unless it's red or it's larger than whatever, but we don't see this beautiful moon we're talking about and all of these fancy things. And it's simply because women are designed to feel more, even from a touch standpoint. The amount of sensory nerves that are linked to a man's skin opposed to from a woman's skin is way more, like about 3 to 5 times more. In some cases, even 10 times more. That's why when men hit women, they tend to be like, I didn't hit you hard, but women are so sensitive to touch. They're designed that way. Men are the pole opposite. So my point is simply this to women. Whenever you're looking and talking about relationships, understand that whatever you are thinking, men are different. Today I was in the gym, for example, and a friend of mine saw me in the gym, and I train in a gym at a higher level than most people train. And I'm soaked and I'm pumped. So you can see muscles everywhere, pumped while I'm training. And my intensity is so high, you can see it on my face. Like I wouldn't even recognize my mother in the gym if when I'm training, unless I pause. That's how intense I actually train. But while I'm training like that and I'm in my zone and I'm pushing some weight because I'm doing a giant set, right? I'm doing 7 exercises at the same time in a sequence. A friend of mine asked, am I okay? To me, that was like the most crazy question that you can ask. And the reason that question was asked and she expected it to be nothing is because that's what women want a man to ask them. You okay? How are you going? But that didn't do anything for me as a man. So I am looking at her like, what? Bitch, you can't see. I mean, in front of your face, you're not seeing how I'm pumped and how I'm training. Like, so I'm like, what? Am I looking ill? Why would you ask if I'm okay? And I'm talking about these are things that men talk among themselves every day that annoy us. But again, because we are men, we don't come. If you say some things to women that annoy them, you see them, you can feel them lose energy and attractiveness right away, and you can see it. It's like, us men, we just look at you like, all right. We aren't women. Like how women react when things, but that's something like, what? What a man requires, especially a man who you're seeing is full of testosterone, is not, are you okay? What you just told him is that you are weak, or you're not really looking as you feel you're looking, or you're looking sick. That's how a man is going to interpret it, because like, why else would you ask me if I'm okay if you're seeing me training harder than anybody else in the gym and I'm soaked and I'm pumped, you see my muscles are pumped. So if you ask me that, it means that there's a problem. You're seeing opposite to how I'm actually feeling. What a man actually wants you to ask him or say is, wow, you know, you look amazing, or you're pumped today, aren't you? Those are statements that men want you to say that are going to make that man, just the same way you want people to say things sometimes to you, that is what you say to men. And you would see when you tell that to a man and you raise his testosterone, he comes back to you and, well, you look hot too. But when you come to him and say, are you okay? Like, why would you ask if I'm okay though? What do you mean? What's wrong? You see? So these are things in relationships that I just want you all to understand. See it for what it is. Men and women are not the same. And women tend to compare a lot. But it's not the same. Relationships are, men have access to relationships and women have access to sex. Alright? So the next time you go to say to certain men, because I'm telling you how we actually think. We don't tell you, but this is how we think. The next time you go to ball, I'm single by choice, elaborate a little bit, because a man is going to sit down and look at you and listen to you say that and be in his mind, yeah, right. Be honest. Say, hey, listen, I know I got work to do, but the kind of man that is out there is not what I want. So until I can get what I want, I am not going to settle for just any kind of man. Say that. You know, that is more acceptable. That is more truthful. But when you come to say I'm single by choice, we know that you're not single by choice, ladies. All right? Because if Chris Brown or you name the person, Idris Elba or somebody steps into to Trinidad and Tobago, your country, and they make a move on you, you know, it's the same way that some women actually say, for example, I'm not having sex until 3 months. But if you bring some famous actor or somebody who has billions of dollars to go on one date, she's not in most cases going to tell that person that they wait 3 months. And so it really matters based on who it is and the scenario. It's just how it is. All right, so you're not single by choice. Let's get out of your mind, and I want to make sure, because I asked the person today, are you sure? When you say you're single by choice, are you sure you're single by choice? Because women who could be single by choice aren't single by choice. And 9 or 8, you can literally see them. I mean, look at Steve Harvey's daughter, for example. How many men have you seen her with in the last 6 months? And so when you look at that, right, every time you see this girl somewhere, she is with somebody of high value, some man of high value. And every one of those people are either the sexiest man in the world, so they say, or a person soon to be a billionaire, or whose father is soon to be a billionaire, and those kind of people. She, the highest of men, she dates, but she's almost never not with somebody. That's what I'm talking about. From one relationship, she's in another one, because right now her inbox is full. She must have about 500 men, if so much, waiting and just hoping in line to date her as soon as that relationship doesn't work out. And look at how Michael Jordan's eyes looks when Michael B. Jordan looks at her when he's with her. He's Tutulbe. She ain't staying with him. She's getting exactly what she wants from being with him, and she's going to move on because she can. He's not the highest value male in and around the place. You think if LeBron James tomorrow says he's leaving his wife and he wants her, she's going to say no? Michael B. Jordan is dumped immediately. You think if Michael Jordan wants her from LeBron James afterwards, she's going to stay with LeBron James, knowing that Michael Jordan owns a drag racing team, part of a team in football, and a whole basketball team worth almost $3 billion, and she's going to stay with LeBron James, only worth $800 million? No. She's going to Michael Jordan because she can. So she doesn't have to say anything about I'm single by choice, because there is no time for her to be single, because everybody wants her. Alright? Cool. So like, share, comment, subscribe. I know the truth hurts. just how it is. But the truth tends to really affect people, and I get it. But I just have to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. But it will always offend, and I get that. So like, share, comment, subscribe. This video is going to be on Instagram in about 10 minutes, and it's also going to be on YouTube within 24 hours after editing. All right, so share it to someone who needs to actually hear it, and follow me on Instagram and on YouTube, Renwa Speaks, and we'll talk soon. Don't forget, Friday we'll be on Facebook Live. All right, so bye for now.